Hey guys, welcome back to more AFK Arena. So we've got the Shining Sword Veithael in this one. Now, I turned the volume on to see if any of his lines actually said his name. They don't, unfortunately. Still have no idea how to say his name, but hey, these things happen. But this guy is very, very interesting. He's an agility-based tank. I didn't see tank coming. Tank really wasn't on the radar for me. I think I might have said it as a joke, but hey, he's a tank. So I'm not too sure. I get the feeling like at high deficits, he won't be able to tank well enough, but I feel like he has some good control, some good buffing, some good CC capabilities. And I just don't know how to place this guy. I feel like in PvP, he's got a chance to be really good. But, you know, once again, it's one of those things we have to test. But I really like this guy. I'm on your account. I'm probably just going to Stargaze straight for him. I think he's going to be amazing early game carry, 100%. But yeah, in the high deficit end game, we'll have to wait and see. But hey, the dude has a sick design. He's basically like a smug, arrogant god is basically what his vibe is. I think it's a wicked design. I absolutely love this. So let's get into his skills. Once again, like every character in the game lately, you know, we're reading a novel. So, his ultimate ability first has a passive. He gains 50 energy per second if he is not being controlled, but loses 150 energy per second if he is being controlled. When using his ultimate ability, he spends 300 energy to swing his sword, damaging nearby enemies for yada yada damage. After using his ultimate, every time he uses a skill, he will spend 350 energy and trigger an energy burst, damaging all enemies in front of him for 10% of his max health. Energy burst cannot exceed 500% of his own attack rating. When his energy falls below 350, he will stop triggering his energy bursts until he uses his ultimate again. He will not use his ultimate while energy burst can still be triggered. So this ability, it's basically kind of like, for me, I compare it to like changing forms that some heroes have in other games, where when he goes into his ultimate, it's kind of like Screg mounting up. When he goes ultimate, he basically changes form, and now every attack is going to have an added effect. And when you see his other abilities, you'll see that when he uses them, they all state that they do something extra when he's when he's using his ultimate, when he's just doing the bursts. So it's a very interesting playstyle. I do like it. For skill ups, reduces the energy consumed from triggering an energy burst to 250 points, which is nice. And then each time he deals damage with an energy burst, the damage he receives is permanently reduced by 5%, and it can be stacked up to a maximum of 40%. Now, this is a really nice mitigation. For endgame, I just think it's going to take too long to ramp up to get to it because he's got an ult, and then he's got to use like, what's that, like 8 skills before it max stacks. Maybe with an owner he can do it, but not too sure. We'll have to wait and see, but still quite solid for other forms of content. Moving on. The Brutal Backswing. Passive. His max health is increased by 30% at the start of battle. His health percentage remains unchanged. When he takes damage, it will reduce the max health until it reaches its original value. Actively. He charges forward, damaging enemies for 240% of his attack rating and knocks them back. He then returns and swings his sword, which damages enemies for 320% of his attack rating, stuns them for 1 second, and heals himself for 25% of his max health. For the duration of this skill, he receives 40% less damage. If this skill triggers an energy burst, enemies will be stunned for 5 seconds longer. So after he uses his ultimate, when he uses this skill during his ultimate phase, it's going to be a 6-second stun, which is pretty solid. He's got some more damage mitigation in this one, and this is where I'm not too sure it would come to testing, because he's got this 40% damage mitigation with this ability, but then he's got stacking up to 40% mitigation with his ultimate over time. So it's really interesting to see where this goes. Plus, it's got a nice 25% max health heal, which is absolutely fantastic. So that is that one. As for the skill ups, increases charge damage to 280%, reduces the damage he receives by 50% for the skill duration, which is even better. And then he's immune to control effects for the skill's duration, which is really handy when you consider the fact that he's got, you know, he loses energy if he's controlled, so he does get some CC immunity while he's using that ability. Next up, we have Hear No Evil. If he is about to be inflicted with a control effect, He negates the effect and swings his sword, damaging nearby enemies for 260% of his attack rating and interrupting their casting. For each enemy hit, he's healed for 100% of his attack rating. This skill can only be triggered once every 15 seconds. If the skill triggers an energy burst, enemies hit by the energy burst permanently lose 3 points of insight and 3 points of potency. Proficiency, I don't know. Dyslexic, I don't know. Then we got the skill ups, some damage increase. For each enemy hit, he's healed for 120% of his attack rating. And then this is the engraving. Now, this is a typo. The cooldown of this skill is reduced. It's supposed to be 12 seconds. So it's not by. So it doesn't become a 3-second cooldown. It becomes a 12-second cooldown. This skill triggers... if this skill triggers an energy burst, enemies hit by the energy burst permanently lose 6 insight and 6 potency. Now, I'm not sure, because it's permanent, I'm not sure if this stacks. It doesn't say stacks, but not too sure. Moving on. Head held high. Active. Head held high is considered a normal attack. When used, it damages enemies in front of him for 2 times for 140% of his attack rating. If this skill triggers an energy burst, the energy burst deals additional damage equal to 10% of his max health. Passive. Each time he deals damage, he gains 1% attack rating, stacks up to 20 times. At max stacks, he gains 25 physical pierce. If he is being controlled, he will lose his attack rating and physical pierce buff. So it's a buff that you're going to gradually grow up, and then if he gets CC'd, you're going to lose it and then go through and go through and go through. Skill up, the engraving is going to increase increase it to 1.5% per stack, but it doesn't increase the max stacking amount. So I'm assuming because we leave it at 20, we do get like a max value of attack increase. But once again, you're going to be losing this from time to time anyway and having to go back for it. But once again, nice buffs. This is where he feels like a real funny tank. I don't know if he should be a tank. He feels like more like a warrior bruiser. I don't know, but let's go into his signature item. A godly physique. The max health bonus he receives at the start of battle is increased to 50%. His health percentage remains unchanged. And then every 1% bonus to his max health, he gains butchered that. Every 1% bonus to his max health increases his attack rating by 1% up to a maximum of 50%. Every 1% bonus to his max health increases his dodge rating by 3 points to a maximum of 150 points. And then all allied heroes gain 100% of the attribute bonuses from Godly Physique. So all these bonuses his allies get. Now, I don't know if it includes the max health thing. I don't know, because it's buffed from Godly Physique, but it's not the actual ability. So it comes from Brutal Bat Swing passive. So I'm not too sure, but I'd say this one, the attack rating and also the dodge bonus is really nice. Now, obviously he's going to lose that health over time, but this is where we have something incredibly, incredibly cool, which is this over here. When an energy burst is triggered, every 1% bonus to his max health increase, the same max I'm struggling with the guy's abilities. When an energy burst is triggered, every 1% bonus to his max health increases the max damage of the energy burst by 2% of his attack rating. Not bad. If you're at 50, it's solid. But this is the thing here. When he receives excess healing, it increases his max health up to 100% of his original max health. This health percentage remains unchanged. Now, it increases his max health by up to 100% of his original max health. Now, I believe that's still going to be capped at the 50% limit. I'm not too sure on this interaction and the wording, but I believe it's basically saying that with overhealing, you can get him back to that increase of 50%. I'm pretty sure. It's a bit hazy on wording in my understanding, but that's how I understand it. You guys let me know in the comments, which is pretty solid, which means then you can recycle and get through to these buffs, which then you can buff your teammates, because if he stays at 50% above, that's going to be a 50% attack, and then you got the dodge on your teammate as well. So it gets a really solid buff. He's got some solid CC with this once you get it to 6 seconds. Seems like he has some decent damage. He's also got self max HP damage, which isn't good as enemy max HP. But all around, I just think he's really solid. But I can't put a finger on it until we can test him. I definitely think godly early game carry. So I'm definitely going for him. But let's go into the arena trials and take a look. Sorry, my reading was horrible in this video, but I always suck. So there he is. Comes out. So this is his his new basic attack where he does the double swings. Now he's going to do his lunge through one with the swing, and that's the one where he's like immune to control while he's using it. Now he's done his ult, so every time he uses those abilities, they're going to get the extra one. So like that one turned into a 6-second stun because he had the thing. So this one, that would be a 6-second stun, and basically because he keeps killing things, he's going to stay in this like berserk mode. But honestly, I think it's pretty cool. Warrior doesn't feel like right. It feels like he should be sorry, tank doesn't feel right. It feels like he should be a warrior, but hey, dude's pretty sick. So let's just jump over here. Let's take a look. Let's see. First off, we got to do the old solo test just to check. Okay, couldn't quite get there. Let's creep it in with one more unit. Let's get Rook in there. So we're not bringing any extra healing. We're just bringing some extra, you know, tanking. Okay, we're getting CC'd. We got CC'd hard by the Rowan. Okay, it's not working there. All right, now let's bring in some extra healing. Just slowly ramp it up. Let's go you. Let's see. The enemy team's got too much CC for this. Get nuked. Damn. All right, let's go again. I thought he'd have like this stuff. I thought he'd be doing it with 3 units, but I feel like Navanthi works well because she gives him extra damage mitigation. Let's just get you in there because he's just frustrating. Let's do that. Let's put him in there. Should be pretty fine. I just want to see his damage compared to the Veithael for this. Let's see. Get the reset. All right. Yeah, I'm just not sure. Like, he reads really good on paper, but like a bit confusing and a bit don't know if it's all going to synergize the way you read it. So let's see. Let's just take a look at this. Yeah, thoroughly spanking him. Maybe he won't have the crazy damage potential. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think. We'll do some testing, but interesting one for sure. But anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.